pretty glare there, but I can work around it. Yeah, okay, so it's the first thing, huh?
This is the very first piece I bought when I got back into Joe. The original Action Soldier, mint in box, from a crazy guy up in, what the hell's that up by Lansdale? I can't think of the name.
Telford.
Telford. Which I paid $250 for, which at the time was outrageous. Notice the original price tag, $349, Ben Franklin stores. That was the first piece when I got back into it. And this is the last piece. The child-sized G.I. Joe entrenching tool.
Yep.
Marine medic. Landmine demolition. Talking marine. I'm not going to chance it. Incomplete shore patrol. Just your basic soldier. Deep freeze set. Australian jungle fighter. French resistance fighter. There was no such thing. Russian infantrymen. British combat fighter, incomplete.
Protecting his genitalia.
Japanese imperial soldier. German stormtrooper.
You're moving things around and messing me up.
German stormtrooper in original Sears mailing box. Crash crew firefighter.
He doesn't really have a head.
Army jungle fighter. Deep sea diver, which is one of the pieces I had originally. Christmas of 1965 I got this. Not this one, but Marines communication and ponchos.
Memories.
Combat demolition. Basic marine. Basic marine. Real nice piece. Marine jungle fighter. That's not the best of shape, but that's one of the nicer Joe pieces. And there we have some original carded sets. When I was a kid, these were about 69 cents each.
Moving things around.
You buy these, take them home, rip them open, put them on your G.I. Joe. These are all original sets, unopened from the 60s. This is the breeches buoy, the scramble pilot, basic soldier with field jacket, fighter pilot without the G pants and parachute, very rare pieces. Two basic sailors. Your talking painted head astronaut. Yesterday while Deb was here, I pulled the tag to let her hear it talk, and it jammed. I was like, oh shit, I got this doll for like $175 and I messed it up, but it's working again and I will chance it. Listen how clear this baby talks.
10 seconds to lift off and counting.
Beautiful. Air Cadet, Ski Patrol, LSO, Landing Signal Officer. This is basically going to... Here's a weird story about G.I. Joe. I bought this mint in the box. It was a sailor. I mean pure mint, not a crack anywhere on the body. Stored it away. 3 months later I sold it. The guy said, what's with the leg? This is what happens over time. It's vinyl. They just crack for no reason. This thing was mint and within 3 months the leg fell off. But I still had it for $60 because, you know, you put a new thigh on it, you got a mint doll. This is a Polar Explorer 1969 set. This is your basic doll in sea sled trunks. The original sea sled came with a new doll and some parents protested, so they reissued it with these trunks. Interesting story. Tank Commander, basic soldier with some stuff. Army poncho and communication set. Nice Marine. Helmet. Finger got blown off in a conflict. West Point Cadet. Basic pilot. Air Patrol. This is your basic pilot, and the very rare, this is literally the only one I have ever seen. Very rare, what they call goldenrod jumpsuit because of the coloring. Very rare piece. And this is a talking pilot. Navy attack set. These are box pieces. The talking sailor, the talking soldier are originals from 1967. The rest of these are original dolls in reproduction boxes. The Aquanaut, which is probably the rare, well, yeah, probably the rarest box G.I. Joe of all, goes for about $2,500. That's a repro box, though. Dress pilot, mountain troops, MP, shore patrol, dress marine, 1969 adventurer. This is one of my favorite dolls. This is when
something wrong with that statement.
After 68, you know, with all the war protests and everything, they decided to change G.I. Joe from a military guy to an adventurer. So he just came in like You know, your t-shirt there with your shoulder pistol. He was no longer a soldier, he was a mercenary man. The big switch for Joe. Lasted a year. Went over big. And your astronaut. And these are the original 4 dolls that came out in 1964. The Action Soldier. Totally mint in box with all papers. Action Sailor. This box is about as perfect as you're ever going to find. And the doll is even. And look at that. It's beautiful. Perfect. Action Marine. And the most expensive of the 4, the Action Pilot. Another beautiful box. It's got one little overlap here, but that's a factory defect. No big deal. Beautiful. Beautiful piece. I don't want to sell. This stuff is all what they call child-size stuff. Games, offshoot stuff. This I had when we lived on the dirt road. The G.I. Joe electric drawing set. You turn the board on, it would light up, and you put these sheets on it, and they were real thin, and you'd put paper on top of it and trace pictures. One of my early art influences, 1965. And various other things, G.I. Joe lunchbox, games, box games, puzzles, play set. These were 2 pieces I was looking for about 2 years, and finally just picked them up within the last 3 months. This is a piece I always wanted as a kid. I never got it. So when I grew up, I got it. You could put it in water, it would actually, as you can see, surface attack, dives, and runs submerged. Of course, I never put my G.I. Joes in water because I wasn't that stupid, but that's a beautiful piece.
Yeah, God forbid you have fun with your toys.
Look at that, still pliable, still rubbery after 30 years. No wear at all on that baby. Original space capsule set with all the box inserts and everything. That's a beauty. This is the Sears version, which is the same except it came with this blow-up flotation collar that goes around the capsule, and for some reason is like really incredibly high demand. I lucked into that one. This is the Army helicopter. This is the rare and very expensive, if it's in perfect shape, which this one isn't, but the Navy Panther jet. And this is the Desert Patrol Jeep, which only came out in 1967 and was issued for such a short time that by the time most people got their orders in, it had been discontinued, which is why it's so rare. It's missing a tailgate and a ring that goes around the sky and the antenna. If it had those, that'd be about a $700 piece. I had it for I think $3 1/4, but you can see the doll's crisp. Beautiful. Now I need a tissue. This thing I won in an auction. I stayed up till about midnight bidding on it. I bid up to $90 and I swore I wasn't going to call back because I didn't want to pay any more. And I ended up winning it, and that's a really tough piece. There's a smaller version of it too. But there's not many of those floating around. This one's pretty common. Matter of fact, usually when you see it for sale, it's still on the card. I forget how this thing works. Like that. And these are the victims of previous conflicts. The dregs of the G.I. Joe collection. But very useful. You always need extra parts. So the total I milked out of this whole entire collection came to a total of altogether. Quite a nice collection. Quite nice.